Hi, my name is Mark Bautista. I'm a physical therapist here at Renew Physical Therapy at the San Francisco office. And for Physical Therapy Awareness Month, I want to create a ergonomic video for you guys. Just some tips on keeping you injury-free while you're working at your at-home workplace. So first of all, I'm going to talk about your chair setup. So what we're going to have you do is sit at your desk, and I want you to go ahead and put your seat farther forward. A lot of times, a lot of people will kind of have their seat back, and this will kind of create this forward posture here. So first tip is just kind of bringing that chair forward here so you can kind of get more upright like this. The second thing is creating some sort of stand for your laptop, as you can see here. So you can see the difference when you have your laptop on a table and you're kind of hunched down, you're looking down here, and that creates this posture of your neck where it's a little more forward and a little more rounded in the upper back, which can create problems. So if you bring it up onto a box and then bring it about just below eye level, then you can get into a more neutral posture, which will be a lot safer for the neck. The only problem with this is that if you have a laptop, then your keyboard is up here. So I recommend getting some sort of Bluetooth keyboard or using a desktop computer where you have a separate keyboard. So this will represent a Bluetooth keyboard here where I can bring this keyboard kind of like more closer to me and at a lower part on the desk here. And so you can see you want ideally to have your elbows right at your side here at 90 degrees here instead of having it forward like this. This can create more problems at the shoulder, and this can also influence the amount of rounding that you have in the upper back and into the neck if you have your arms forward. So we want that keyboard nice and close here. And you want your feet flat on the ground here. And then the last thing is just thinking about your neck posture. Pretend like you have a string on the top of your head and it's pulling you up, straight up like this, kind of pointing back, kind of creating a chin tuck position here. And it's not really a chin tuck position where you're kind of tucking your chin to your chest, but more just backwards and kind of up like this. So then the resulting posture is a nice neutral posture here like this. And then obviously, the best thing to do is to get up and move as much as possible. So we're going to go over a few stretches and a few different movements that you can just periodically do throughout the day and just get up out of your chair and kind of keep things mobile. All right, so here's a few stretches that you can do just throughout your day. I recommend that you set a timer on your phone just for at least maybe half an hour to an hour, and then just kind of cycle through these exercises every time that timer goes off. So the first one is getting the upper back moving, and this is really important not only for the neck, but the shoulders and the entire upper body. So in order to do this, you can just stay seated, put your hands behind your head like this, and then you can just rotate side to side like this. And you can just do 10 to 20 reps, both sides. And now I'll get that upper back moving. So the next one will just be kind of a pec opener here. And you can just grab onto your desk while you're seated here. And this works best in kind of a spinny chair like this, but you can also make it work without the spinny chair too. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab onto the desk here. I want you to try and get the shoulder back and down like that. And then you're just gonna rotate, get a nice stretch in the front, and come back. Just go into a stretch like that. And then you can do the other side. There are 10 to 20 reps, both sides. And then we're going to get working on some of these other back shoulder muscles by just grabbing onto the desk here. This works best with a rolly chair. So you're just going to have your shoulders go into this flexion motion like this. And we want to prevent you from kind of going up like this. So kind of keep those shoulders more tucked underneath like this. You're going to feel a nice stretch under here. Another 10 to 20 reps with this one. And then we want to get those hips moving and the whole lower body moving. So this one's just going to be a simple hip flexor stretch going like this, which kind of counteracts some of the tightness with that flexed position while you're seated for a long period of time. And then you're going to do 10 to 20 reps, both sides. Like this. You should feel a stretch nice right in front there. And then the next one's the hamstring stretch, because you can see when you're seated here, you're in this kind of flexed knee position that can really tighten up the hamstrings. So it's important to keep these mobile for not only the knees, the back, the whole lower body, the hips, So in order to stretch your hamstrings, you can just scoot forward in your chair like this. And you're just gonna straighten out your leg. You're gonna point the toe, and then you're just gonna reach down, get a nice stretch in the back of the leg here. Come on back. Try and keep your back from rounding forward here, because then you're kind of giving some slack to those hips. You get less of a hamstring stretch. So we're gonna kind of just hinge from the hips like this. Feel a nice stretch in the bottom of your thigh there. 10 to 20 reps. 10 to 20 reps on the other side. And if you feel like you're not really getting that much of a stretch with that one, a modification that you can do is just kind of reaching down here and using a rolly chair to just kind of roll backwards like this. You get more of a stretch there. With all these, you can kind of just work with different reaches and try and find different angles where you might get a little more of a stretch. Some people are more tight in the outside hamstring or the inside hamstring, or different parts of the hip flexor. So for like the hamstring stretch, if you're not getting that good of a stretch, you can try reaching to the outside, doing the same thing with the rolly chair, or reaching down to the outside, or you can go to the inside. Or with like the hip flexor stretch, you can try just going, instead of straight forward, you can try going out to the side or to the other side, just depending on where your hips are tight. And with all those, just go ahead and just try and do that as much as possible throughout the day. Motion is lotion, so it's really important to keep in motion. Ergonomics is only half the battle.